Hey everybody, welcome to the weekend vid, and we got a new month opening on Wednesday morning. So we'll want to know, are we taking the inside week up or inside down next week? It's probably going to be opening as an inside week up. So that's something we want to know about: SPY, Qs, and IWM. So those either become twos to the upside and reverse, or become two go threes to the downside. As far as IWM is concerned, you're nowhere near a two up month. So how are you going to do that? SPY, you're a little bit closer. Qs, you are the closest as far as potentially recovering goes. And within the Qs, you're going to have specifically the semiconductors, SMH, setting up the 222 with full time frame continuity on the year. So notice these are quarter inside. These are still year two up greens. So these are going to be the greenest we have as far as who's very green this year. So these would be where we'd want to be on the way back up. Technology is going to be a close second. And if we go in there, specifically in crowd, inside here, setting up 222 month as well with the pivot machine gun on the week. And outside of the techs, semis, we'll go through all of them because there's a lot. So ADI, you'll have the 2-2 week last week, giving you relative strength compared to the rest of the market since it went 2 up. TXN, same thing there. So no reversals there. AVGO, inside week, potential 212 reversal, pivot machine gun. And this is where you can look at like what are next week, end of the week expiration calls trading at, like 1400s. They're trading at $9. So if this goes to 1438, those would go to $40 from 9. So that's something you can know about. TSM, that'd be a 2-2 week for the compound 3 to take this out, 145.57, and 222 on the month above 148.43. So if this works, that may go in force. QCOM, inside week, potentially 222 month setting up. NXPI, stronger 2-2 week last week, setting up the 222 hammer month. Marvel, 2 down in green, potential 2-2 pivot machine gun for the smaller account guys, setting up a 3-2-2 for next month potentially. Nvidia, above 88331, you got pivot machine gun back into 96766. SWKS, 3 on the month, so no thanks. MU, strongest semiconductor we can identify because it's still a 2 up month. So they triangle out the week, these 3 bars outside of that. Inside week here would put you back up into this, 130.54. So that would be a good one for everyone to be looking at for certain. ON, this is another 3-2 potentially, and that could pivot machine gun with a 2-2-2 month next month as well. AMD, also an inside week, a little bit of a PMG, so this one's still weaker though. You just got to be aware of that. And then ARM, one of the weaker ones as well. So like that one's probably not going to take this out next month or next week. We'll see though. Inside up, you try and rev strat this month. That could totally happen. Just might take a couple weeks to get out of that mother bar if we do see any recovery. The other thing we noticed last week was the materials. It's not all the materials. You can see much closer to a 2 down month, but specifically gold, NEM. That one's going into new highs, but pretty strong in there. NEM, and then WPM as well, pretty strong in there still for the quarter and macro vid stuff. RGLD hasn't quite joined up in there yet, but WPM and NEM are going to be your strongest miners. GDX, 3 on the week. JNUG, 3 on the week. Or actually, potentially, compound 3 on the week. Nugget, also 3 on the week. And then gold, you'll have the RevStrat 122. Silver, you have the RevStrat 122 potentially, so we'll want to see if those can start recovering or not. Outside of that, energies, you'll have an inside week energies. So either side of that gets your attention. XLE. XOP will be slightly stronger and have an inside day for Monday. These are still doji months, so whenever we look at signals, we want to say how much continuity do we have, right? We don't have much. We just have the weekly actionable signal and the slight green month. So next month, we'll want to see, do they go 2 up again and get those yearly signals going? But this week would set that up for you. Triangle out and inside back up. OIH will still be much weaker. So 3, poke down, 2 down again, green, closer to a 2-2 month next month, so that's got to change. But we can definitely be watching that. CVX from last week's weekend vid, very nice, and you're already in. So we're looking for the outside ear still in there, above 189.68 would give you the rev strat. XOM had some earnings, so not doing good on earnings. We'll see, along with PSX, had some earnings. Didn't do very good on earnings with the gap down, so we'll see if those start recovering or not. And then VLO closer to two's down, MPC closer to two's down. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing in there. If you go to Oxy, you can see that one's closer to a two up. So what we want to do is, like we say every week, go into the strat site, give me the inside weeks, tell me who's two up, who's two down, and just scan this every 15 minutes or every 60 minutes on the beginning of the week on Monday. See where the sectors are breaking. If you want to know who's in the energy sector doing that, go and scan the energy sector. See if you go on the month. Do we have any inside months breaking this month? We don't, so we don't got any signals in force. If we go and say who's in force, you see we have one signal in force. So next week, we want to have more than one. We want like 10. So that's what we'll look for. We can do the same thing for the tech to see how many are reversing in the tech there. And we can do the same thing to just scan and see how many financials go two up again next week, like so. Because we did have things like Bank of America, which 2-2 the week recovered, but we'll just have to see. Do they confirm that or negate that? They hit short-term exhaustion, making the new highs. Citigroup, same thing. They did to the week, didn't hit exhaustion. They were two up on Friday, so they're still a year in force. Goldman Sachs, still very much strong at the highs, double inside year up from the macro vid, and then the weekly confirmed that. JP Morgan, still very much closer to taking out their magnitude up here, and the banks that own the world, right? So 3, 2 up, 2 up. So they went 2 up Monday, Tuesday, triangle out, and then 2 up again. So we'll see if that's going to be the case. Above 194.87, it reconfirms. So we'll keep an eye on the financials. We'll definitely want to know about the semiconductors and tech, and give us some pivot machine guns. We'll see. Let me think. The only thing I almost forgot, AI and PLTR. So since these semiconductors are more of like an AI play, if AI is going to get going again, you got AI here. You got PLTR, inside week PMG there. And then they're saying that the miners might turn into these farms for AI. So like Riot, Mara, CLSK, that type of stuff. Maybe that starts going on AI news. So potentially some story names there, and they really went after them and they're holding. So we'll see if that's going again next week or not. But that's going to cover everything that we've got, and I will have a good update video for you guys on Monday night to see where the twos are to start the week. And I'll see you guys then. Have a good rest of your weekend.